Can, right?
Yeah. Where's the fan?
Call the meeting to order. Have the opening prayer. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gentlemen, you have the September the 8th minutes. Is there any addition or deletions to those minutes? Seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
And October the 6th, oh,
Yes, that's right. We did do one for that. I got the 8th.
that was a public hearing
Yeah.
on the budget workshop we had.
I didn't get it. Give me one.
Yep.
Okay, gentlemen, you got October the 6th. You have those?
Yep.
Okay, any additions or deletions to those minutes?
Make a motion as is. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you have the code enforcement officer's report. You have the minutes of the planning board and the minutes of the zoning board of appeals. And you have JCO's report. This time we generally open the meeting to the public for anyone with comments to the board. So do it this time.
I'm from down on the Stetson Road. My name's John Wagon. I wondered if you could have it on your agenda tonight to talk about the speed limit on that road.
Yes, John, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 letters.
Can I give you another one?
I don't need it, but if you want.
Thanks.
Yes, I have this one.
Okay.
You wish to comment at this time on it?
Well, in my letter, I'm really just, I think like everybody else, pointing out that over the last year, it's noticeable how fast people are going on the road. I started off at the state troopers, and I got a young trooper, and I asked him which direction to go with the thing. I was just going to ask him to go out and write some tickets. It was funny that he said that he'd just been out to Harvey's to do an investigation the day before, and his words were, "I couldn't believe how fast people were going on that road." And he pointed out the reasons. It's a long, straight road, but there are no signs on the road. He's the one that directed me to come here. Now, I'm sure it's a Department of Transportation thing. All I want, in my letter I even said, if I have to start here, I need some direction. Where do I go with this thing? Because I'm just asking to put some speed limit signs up, or if it is a study that has to be done, it has to start someplace. It's a farm road. It's not a wide road. The 2 miles of that road that are in the town of Champlain, there are 25 little kids on that road now. And you can't let your kids use their bikes, and going for a walk is hazardous. So those are our concerns, and I just need a place to start.
Okay. We have those letters tonight. They will be read at the meeting.
Okay.
Anyone else care to comment forward? Yes?
Dan Mink, Ridge Road resident. That's no decision's been made on the decision to, or the proposal to reclassify the zoning district yet?
No, that will be addressed tonight.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Okay, gentlemen, the first thing on your agenda is letters from New York State DOT on the water line fires. We had a meeting, it was before I went to Hershey, and it was forest ranger came in, and we discussed the fact that the town of Champlain is not a fire town. And the bad part about not being a fire town is that under the environmental conservation law, the forest rangers could not come in here and do any work supplying equipment and monies. What they suggested is, if you've read the letter, is that basically boils down, I would like to recommend that the Champlain Town Board consider enacting a resolution to the Clinton County Legislature requesting that the county resolution be ratified and sent to the Department of Environmental Conservation request that 6 NYCRR 191,12 be amended so that the town of Champlain will be included as a forest fire district. I believe that that would assist the local communities and the forest rangers in dealings with wildland fires efficiently and effectively, limiting damage to forest property and structures. I have enclosed a copy of the St. Lawrence County resolution utilized in 1989 to request a change to the 6 NYCRR 191,2. I hope this information may be of use. Please contact me if you have any other questions or any other information you would like to know. Basically, what this boils down, we wouldn't be a fire town, but we would be a fire district. So we would petition the county. The resolution reads as forward. Whereas the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation is not obligated to perform fire protection in towns outside designated fire towns or forest fire districts. And whereas the town of Champlain is not presently included as either a fire town or a forest fire district by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And whereas the number of acres located forest land within the town of Champlain is increased due to the decline of agricultural activities. And whereas the potential for forest fires within the town of Champlain has greatly increased due to the effects of the 1998 ice storm. And whereas the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has specialized equipment, vehicle, training, and technical expertise to handle brush and forest fires. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Champlain Town Board requests that the Clinton County Board of Legislators petition the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to designate the town of Champlain as a forest fire district. Do you have any questions on this, gentlemen?
So is our legislator doing it, Celine doing this?
Well, I would give a copy of this to the Clinton County legislators so they could petition the State Department of Environmental Conservation to list us as a forest fire district. We're not eligible to be a fire town. I'd say we're not eligible. I don't think we want to do that because there are certain rules and regulations that go along with that. But it would be our advantage to be listed as a forest fire district with all this brush and everything that we have down in the woods. If they were to catch fire, it would be an awful expense on the local fire departments. Any equipment that they would lose would have to go through their insurance companies. But if you needed a bulldozer or something like that and you went out and it was destroyed in the fire, well, you would have recourse underneath the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. They do supply funds and equipment for this.
Also move that the town board adopt this resolution.
Motion's
Second.
made, motion's been made by Mr. Cookman, seconded by Mr. Morris. Is there any other discussion on the motion? No further to motion, go ahead and roll call vote. Mr. Cookman?
Aye.
Mr. Trahan?
Aye.
Mr. Wallet?
Aye.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Supervisor votes aye. Okay, gentlemen, number 2 on your agenda is the State Controller's Office, and this is in relation to Justice Hamill, and it goes to as follows. In the follow-up to some post-auditing work in progress, it has been discovered that Farmer Justice Hamill, who left office in 1996, filed no money reports for December 1995 until June of 1996. His monthly report period to December 1995 averaged $4,000. Upon further investigation of this matter, it was learned that the amount of $30,000 from Jester Hamill's account was turned over to the town when he left office. As you know, funds received by the court, which reflect depository action in any given month, must be first reported to the state comptroller by the 10th of the following month. If you have custody of any court funds left by Judge Hamill, it must be turned over to the Justice Court Fund immediately. If funds of Jester Hamill are not within possession of the town, we need a written explanation of how the account was closed. If you need any assistance regarding this matter, please do not hesitate to contact me. And that's Michael Cummings, Director of Justice Court Fund. Attached to that, you should have our response back to them. This is to Justice Labounty, and it's from Michael Cummings. It goes to say, this is to acknowledge receipt of $38,116.25 in unidentified monies sent to us by the town supervisor for former Judge Hamill. We appreciate your cooperation in sending in these funds. Should you at a later point identify the source of this money, please do not hesitate to contact us with the details regarding disposition, and we will refund it as possible, promptly as possible. So we did refund the money. We sent it to them, and now we don't have it. It's a headache. Department of Personnel is the next thing from the Clinton County Department of Personnel, and this is relating to the zoning office. We've had quite a bit of discussion with this throughout the year. And I guess what, on now 2 years? It's just been going on. We're trying to set up a classification for Barbara that they'll accept. And we will be working on this week. So what they're saying is that she's working, she's not qualified as she's not listed as a full-time zoning officer, but yet her hours worked are over the full-time limit. So we're going to list a new duty statement. New York State Emergency Management Office, this is from FEMA. It goes to say, dear Mr. Beal, this letter is to advise you that all eligible money has been paid and that your claim for disaster assistance under FEMA 1148 DR New York NY has been closed as of September the 8th, 1998. In accordance with Uniform Administration requirements for grants and cooperative agreement to state and local governments, common rule, you are required to keep all records of your claim for 3 years, except that in any litigation claim, negotiation, audit, or other action involved, the record has been started before the expiration of a 3-year period. The record must be retained until completion of the action and resolution of all issues that will arise from it, or until the end of the 3-year period, whichever is last. This is from John Margoskania. We had a gentleman from Hartford came in last week, maybe it was a week before, and reviewed us. And this is what they say. Dear Mr. Beal, this letter will serve to confirm our visit September the 15th, 1998. At our meeting with Jane West, we achieved the following. Loss of revenue, review safety policies and procedures that are currently in place. This was accomplished through discussion and review of current procedure. Conducted a safety audit to identify hazard exposed that would create potential loss. Provided a sample of safety pamphlets to further strengthen your loss prevention efforts. Discussed the title claim service. Loss review, workers' compensation, you have that sentence there. The following recommendations were made in the spirit of helpfulness we developed as a result of that visit. In order to reduce your liability exposure, the grease should have a protective guard to prevent someone from accidentally falling into it and serious injury. In order to reduce your liability exposure, certificates of insurance should be obtained from all subcontractors or parties doing business with the town. Your legal counsel or insurance agent should be contacted for advice on appropriate policy limits. I talked with Sam, as a matter of fact, when he came in. I think you have thought of a way to resolve that pit problem. And we will get with Henry to have up the vendor liability exposure.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, whenever we service a truck. But we always keep a truck over it, but we back the truck out, then they want us to put the chains on when the truck is gone. So I feel if we just take and flank it, we'll have to buy those chains, and when we come through the pit, we move two flanks and service the truck.
Otherwise, they'd have to move the chain every day, whereas the planks, they would only have to move their gas turn when you grease
Whenever we use the pit.
it. And we also have to paint it.
Yep, absolutely.
Put some hardwood boards in there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just something that you walk on, you know, nothing we drive on, just not the whole man standing on
Catch you when you fall.
it. Right.
Okay, number 6 on your agenda is from Design Engineering and Land Surveying. On October the 2nd, 1998, I made a visit to review the punch list items that were outstanding for the Steve Fuller Excavation Incorporated on the above referenced project. Please be advised that all items of the punch list have been corrected to my satisfaction, and the town may proceed payment to the contractor. If you have any questions regarding this, please contact me, Wayne Ryan. That's on the Webb Dubai Crossing. Yes, we did send that check out. Went out yesterday?
Yesterday.
Finally. This is from BAS Business Automation Service Incorporated, and this is to Ralph. This is that Windows 98, well, he's 95, 98. Update. You'll see that we have planned for this in the budget. This gives you a general idea of what he's talking about when he talks about price. So that'll come in handy when you get to your budget time. Ralph, both, and Barb will be going through this. Well, I lost my, yeah. This is 8 on your agenda, gentlemen. It's from the town of Altamont. Dear friends and colleagues, much time has passed since Tupper Lake and the town of Altamont lost the security prison. We are now in the process of proceeding after another dream of endeavor. As always, we need your help, or more expertly, your support. We want to build a natural history museum of the Adirondacks. What better place could such a magnificent facility be built than in Tupper Lake in the town of Altamont? It seems as though this might well be the only thing left for us to have and get the environmental community and groups to support. We all know their lack of support did the prison project. Tupper Lake and the town of Altamont are located precisely at the crossroads of the Adirondacks. Since both Route 3 and Route 30 intersect with our community, what better place to construct a natural history museum of the Adirondacks than the center core of the Adirondacks, in Tupper Lake in the town of Altamont? Why not have a natural history museum of the Adirondacks built in the heart of the Adirondacks? Because it makes great sense to do so, but we need your support. So I ask that you please ask the board to take a few moments at the next meeting and pass the attached resolution of support. I then ask that you send copies to your various state officials. I would like to thank you for your past support on the prison issue, and I also want to thank you for your current support of the Natural History Museum of the Adirondacks. And you have the resolution of support. Do you want me to read that, John? Whereas a Natural History Museum of the Adirondacks being built in Tupper Lake at the town of Altamont would complement both the Adirondack Museum and Blue Mountain Lake, which serves as a cultural and human history museum, and the Adirondack Park Agency Visitors Interpretation Center located in Paul Smiths and Newcomb, which serves school groups, provide interpretive natural walks, and public lecture series. And whereas Tupper Lake and the town of Altamont are known as the crossroads of the Adirondacks, and the construction of a natural history museum in the Adirondacks would provide an enormous economic boost to the central core of the Adirondacks, and also help to stimulate secondary growth and redevelopment in Tupper Lake in the town of Altamont. And whereas the siting of such a museum would serve to revitalize the downtown business district of Tupper Lake if we're located in the core area of the village. And whereas a natural history museum of the Adirondacks being built in the central core and crossroads of the Adirondack, Tupper Lake, it would serve to improve the image of Tupper Lake and the surrounding area. And whereas the construction of such a magnificent museum would provide a destination point for the central core and the crossroads of the Adirondacks, which receives some of the highest traffic volume from all directions throughout the Adirondack Park. Now be it resolved that the Town Board of Champlain does hereby support the creation of a natural history museum of the Adirondacks being built in Tupper Lake in the town of Altamont. And finally, be it resolved that copies of this resolution be sent immediately to Governor Pataki, Senator Stafford, and Assemblyman Narloff, as well as the town of Altamont's supervisor, Dean LeFay. So therefore, gentlemen, do I have a motion that we adopt the resolution?
I make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Mr. Trahan, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Bruce Wallace. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Supervisor votes aye. New York State, number 9 on your list, gentlemen, is from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And this is the Emery Road Sand Pit, town of Morris. You got that on your agenda, Sam? Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. You're going to read that?
Oh, I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it? Well, gentlemen, what this basically is talking about is the sand pit up. The trees that we planted, 2 years ago didn't take.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them did, but a lot of them did. Sam's, you've got a reorder on trees now, right?
Can't order till January.
Can't order until January. So we'll plant some more trees up there. He wants to continue the berm down further, doesn't he? And move it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have to move the berm back a little bit, continue it down a little bit, and of course plant the grass. But grass is going pretty good
Oh, yeah.
on that already.
We had a slope.
Mhm. So you all have a list of the recommendations that he's making there, and we do intend to follow up on his recommendations and take care of that. Any discussion on that? Number 10 on your agenda, gentlemen, from Clinton County. From Bill Bingle. I am enclosing a certificate copy of Resolution number 770, adopted by the Clinton County legislators on September the 9th, 1998. This resolution will allow the county to participate in the sales tax exemption week planned for January the 17th to the 24th, 1999. If you have any questions or require additional information, please do not hesitate to contact my office, Mr. Bill Bingle. So there will be no sales tax on clothes. We'll read it here. This is Grant Lawless to Viet May, Mr. Perry. Be enacted by the Clinton County legislators as follows. Section 1. Receipt from sales and consideration given or contract to be given for purchase of clothing and footwear exempt from the state sales and compensating use tax pursuant to paragraph 30 of subdivision A of section 1115 of the tax law shall also be exempt from sales and compensating use tax imposed in this jurisdiction. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect immediately and shall apply to sales made and use occurs during the period commencing January the 17th, 1999 and ending January the 24th, 1995. Although made on occurring under a prior contract. All voted aye. So that's next year. It's also from the Clinton County Treasurer's Office. This is from Gregory Bell. That's number 11 on your agenda. Please find enclosed a check in the amount of $76,043.97. This check represents the third quarter of distribution of 1998 sales tax revenue. If you should have any questions regarding this matter, please feel free to contact me anytime. Gregory Bell. Okay, gentlemen, this week we received an awful lot of letters from people living on Stetson Road. I'd like to read the one from George, Nevada. Of course, I'm not leaving out the others because they weren't anything, but I think Jerry really says it all. Before addressing the main topic of this letter, please accept the thanks to the road crews who did such an excellent job of cleaning up the area. The job that they did is indication of the attitude they display in keeping the district in good shape in all kinds of weather. My family has lived on the Stetson Road for quite a number of years. We have witnessed development not only on our road, but in all the Champlain and Chazy area. There are so many good things about the area that in general we try to ignore those things that detract from the advantages of living here. The one situation that we cannot continue to ignore is the speed at which vehicles pass through Stetson Road. Several years ago, we approached the town in an attempt to have the speed limitations posted. We were told at the time that only the state DOT had jurisdiction in posting speed limits, and that the only thing the town could do was to post a child at play sign. This was done, but the sign fell victim to target shooters, was taken down and never replaced. The dangerous speeding situation is not abated, and more children have moved into the area. We respectfully request that the town research the regulations to determine if, in fact, only the DOT has jurisdiction, and if it does not, that the town takes steps to impose a speed limit that would protect the many children who live on this road. This is from George, Nevada. And we also have a letter from Sher and Amy House. We also have a letter from Rita Bayshore. We also have a letter from John and Rhonda O'Hagan, all concerned about the same problem. I did contact Sam today. Sam said he would tomorrow take children at play signs down there and post them. We're going to put at least 2 of those up. As far as, Jerry saying that, we did try to do something, and it seems to me that every time we contact DOT and list a problem with them, they come back and say, well, no, we can't lower that speed limit, or generally they say that, well, we can only lower it 85% of what the speed limit is, which is generally 3 miles, 3.5, 4 miles an hour, which, that's fruitless. It's not going to solve any problem. The state troopers, I imagine, they got a lot of roads to cover, and they can't be on every road. We can ask them to spot check that road and have radar set up there, unbeknown to anybody else at certain times of the month. That's possible. We can request DOT. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong, DOT is the only one that has authority to establish speed limits on the road. I can double check that and see what they say. And I can send them a copy of all these letters.
I think that'd be a good move. I mean, it's better that the town would send a letter to them, or even to Ron Stafford. I mean, my letter to Ron Stafford, I could go see him personally, but, it's in the county. I think I wasn't here when Jerry Nevada went through this last time. And I'm just from talking to the people on the road, I think the problem has gotten worse. I've been here 3 years, and I have noticed in the last year that people use that road as a shunt hike to get off of Route 9, to get up to Ross's Point or go to Vermont. I have to tell you, a lot of these cars that are speeding are from Vermont. It's a shortcut. It's a way to avoid any kind of a detail that the troopers have on Route 9. And there's a lot of other activity on that road. And as I said before, I appreciate anything you can do. And I think letters in that direction might help. If you tell me to leave here and go and reach out and see if I can grab somebody elected, to see if they know somebody in the DOT. But I'm not, I got to keep pursuing this because, and I hate to even talk this way. It's just gonna be a matter of time before somebody gets hurt bad on this road. And Jerry Nevada's house and Sherb House live across the street, and they live right on the bend in that road. People are flying, some of the cars that go by there are airborne. They're not even on the road. Not even gonna mention names. A truck 2 weeks ago came down with tires on the back of the truck. The guy was going so fast, he got airborne, and 2 of the tires flew off the truck, off the back of the truck, hit a tree, and just went into pieces. It's just, everybody does it. It has to be addressed. I'm gonna pursue this thing. If you guys can help me, I'm gonna be really happy, but I'm not gonna quit on this one because it's scary.
Well, we will get the signs up tomorrow, at least that's a
I
start.
think that'll help, Andy, that'll help.
It's very hard, even if you put the speed limit up there, is that gonna slow them down?
Oh, I mean, I look like an idiot out there some nights, when after that second school bus comes by. I don't want to have any fist fights out there, but I actually yell at people, what the, slow down.
Well, I think people are going very fast on all roads today.
I do that, but that's exactly the point, Amy. People are going the same speed on that road as they're going on that interstate, and that's unacceptable.
We have that problem on every road, and
I know.
I really
drive
think that
around.
the only way
The La Valley Road's the same way.
the only way to correct it is by actually over-policing it.
That's
The
why I
Village of
started
Rouse's
that way.
Point, you can talk about them, but the Village of Rouse's Point, as far as I'm concerned, have police on duty. And if you're over that speed limit that they've set, they're going to get you. And I know people now that when you see them hit the underpass, they hit their brakes.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
don't slow down through there.
That works.
I really think that is the best result. But we just don't have the state police power that we used to have anymore.
Mhm.
And it's very hard for these gentlemen to be on every road at all the time.
I think the other point that he made was, and this is the end of it, but the other point that he made was that without signs on that road, that the speed limit is 55.
New York State speed limit is 55.
So he's saying, I'd have to clock somebody going well over 60 to give them a ticket, which I think is what you said. But,
No, I'm saying that if they lower it, it's generally only 85% of what the speed
okay,
is.
right,
All
right.
They will still maintain 85% of what the speed limit is. So it's 85 multiplied by 55, giving you the amount that they would drop it down.
Well, then I guess, it's going to take time, but somebody has to do a study because that road can't handle 60. It's impossible.
Well, let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Joe Beeman, too, also wrote a letter, I'm sorry. And I left another one out, too. Tricia Cortez? She wrote a letter about it. Certainly are a lot of people.
Well, as I said, we got 25 kids and 2 miles of road there.
Okay. Number 13 on your agenda is just a letter from Dennis Richards and Son, which is telling us he's no longer providing service, and we have another person that's taking his place. It's just your information, gentlemen. Village of Champlain. Ralph, I think this is an answer to your question that you asked at one of the meetings with the Village of Champlain, and it's from Melissa McManus, and it goes to say, I checked our fire contract and the budget today and found that I was wrong about the question of town fire protection money being forwarded directly to Niagara Holes. The contract, as Leroy remembered, does in fact specify that 15% of the town's contribution is to be forwarded to the firemen. This year we allocated $6,000 for personal services, which goes directly to the firemen. Sorry for giving you the wrong information last night. I hope this clears it up. Could you please forward a copy of the legal information package to which you referred last night? I would like to go over the legal issue and discuss them with NYCO. That's New York Conference of Mayors. I am hopeful that you will be able to move forward on the fire protection issue as expeditiously as possible so that our year 2000 budget contains a permanent solution. Thank you. To update the public on it, yes, we did look into the town forming a fire department, and we found that the town has no authority really to form a fire department on their own. The only thing they have the rights to do is to form a fire commission, and the fire commission could run a fire department for the town. And apparently that doesn't seem to what the committee and what the other people want, so we didn't pursue that matter any further. And we are addressing the fire protection problem in the budget this year. Next is a number 15 on your agenda. That's Peer Group Benefit Administrator. Empire Heart Helpline, our new medical information helpline, will soon replace the personal health advisor for your Empire HMO and HMO POS members. The service will take effect August the 1st, 1998. And of course, to tell you what they're going to talk about. Worldwide weather, that's for your information, gentlemen. And Marist is for your information, that's seminars. If anybody thinks they might like to take that up, just let us know. This is number 18 on your agenda. It's from the State of New York Legislative Commission on Rural Resources. Dear friends, I would like to take this opportunity to advise rural schools and municipalities of round 2 of the statewide shared services program, administered by the University of Buffalo Institute for Local Government and Regional Growth. The program is again sponsored by Senator Mary Lou Roth, Chair of the State Local Government Committee, who obtained a second $350,000 appropriation to fund local share service grants. Enclosed for your information is a copy of the RFP. The purpose of these grants is to promote more efficient response and cost-effective service for New York citizens and families that foster shared services. Collaborations between municipalities and school districts are BOCES. Application must represent collaborative efforts between at least one municipality and at least one school district, or BOCES, with the lead agency being primarily municipalities in the partnership. Should a school district have an idea for a program promoting such shared service, I encourage them to contact their village, town, city, or county to see if they're interested. The first rounds of grants was announced in June 1998. 13 awards were made of 41 applications, ranging from $8,500 to $30,000. There were many excellent projects submitted. If you have any questions regarding RFP, I suggest you contact the University of Buffalo. Applications are due at the university address on the front by 5 p.m. on Monday, November the 16th. This is from Senator Charles D. Cook. And of course from Cornell Cooperative Extension, which is 19 on your agenda. That's Crash Course on Urban Forestry. If you guys want to learn all you can about forestry, they're out there to teach you. For your information. Number 20 is from the United States Department of Commerce. And in February, we invited your government to participate in the first phase of the address list review activity, formerly known as the Local Updates of Census Addresses. Program in that phase, we ask you to help in updating our maps and new road names and other needs changes. Census Bureau employees have started using maps updated with the correction we received to record the address and census block located for each housing unit in those areas. The census address list that they're compiling will allow us, number 1, to assure that a questionnaire is delivered to every housing unit. Number 2, determine which we have completed data collected activities. And number 3, assure that each individual in every housing unit is included in the Census 2000 totals for the government in which they live. We are requesting your assistance now in the 1999 phase of the address list review activity. This phase provides an opportunity for your government to review a list showing the number of housing units on the census address, list for each census block in your jurisdiction. If you believe this information is incorrect for any block, or that the Census Bureau maps we will provide do not show all streets and roads in your jurisdiction, you can tell us where we need to recheck the census address and list the maps. Please review the enclosed information again This new address lists for opportunity to respond to this invitation during the next 2 weeks. And that is from Arthur Dukakis, Dukakis. We will do that. You have an A on your agenda, gentlemen. It's a letter from Kelly Sullivan, and she's taken the opportunity to introduce herself to us, and that's for your information. You have a B on your agenda, which is from Clinton County Treasurer's Office, and this is for our budget, and we do this every year, based on the assumption that, number one, the 1999 total county sales tax income will be $24 million. The most up-to-date assessment will be used. And number three, that the present distribution agreement will remain in effect for the town of Champlain should receive approximately $409,820 in sales tax income in 1998. That follows in quarters. On the first quarter, $60,000. On the second quarter, $129,000. On the third quarter, $76,000. And on the fourth quarter, $144,820, for a total of $409,820. This projection is for informational purpose only and does not constitute a commitment to pay. Should any significant change in this project occur, we will immediately notify. This is from Gregory Bell. The only other thing I have is I had a lady that called, and I guess they had a wreck on the McCray Road at the curve, and she thought that maybe a light would help that situation. I told her that I would present it to the board and get their feeling on it. This is another one of those streetlight deals. McCray Road, that's McCray Road there. You know, we're,
Is that where young Roberts just bought?
Yeah, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on the curve there. Right where our old fisheries are. All right.
Well,
you want to follow the policy that we have instituted, making that a lighting district?
Yeah.
Light there for a lighting district.
Huh?
They want a light there, set up the lighting district.
Yeah. Okay, is that, you want to follow the policy and then declare that a lighting district?
Be paid for it.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's a bad intersection right there too, though. There's a stop sign right there.
They talked about the curve. Curve down front.
Yeah, but the curve is only 100 feet from the stop sign.
Well, that's what they want. More than 100 feet.
Start at the curve.
Well, why don't you really go down and measure it, see how far the curve is, and that is an intersection, a town intersection, and we have in the past established lights at an intersection of a town road and a state highway, and et cetera. So, if you want the plan to review it, that's a town road. You know, see if the light at the corner would help the curve, but I don't think we want to start putting curves in.
I don't think you let it, let the stop sign go to the curve.
Is there a sign showing the curve pretty good?
Yep.
Most of the
Stop sign
time,
on Leggett Road and on the lights. They go on county roads. There's curves there too.
well, the only thing I'm saying is, you know, we did determine that we have to stop someplace, and we did set up possibility of establishing lighting districts. We can inform her that
I have the form consent on.
we'll send her a form. You're going to report on streetlights tonight, Ralph?
Yes.
And I told you guys about the Stony Point Road. I called the school, and they didn't seem to be very friendly about sending a bus down on the Stony Point Road, even if we did put a turnaround. So I'll contact the gentleman that requested this and bring him up to date. The next thing you have on your agenda is the zoning change. And now you have a final description that was made on the 8th, the 11th of '98. You gentlemen all have that before you. You also have a map of that district showing where they want to change it to an R1. So I guess what I'll do is I'll read the boundaries. And partial 1, commencing at a point on the west bounds of the Ridge Road at the southeast corner of Shannon and Morrow Poulonde, thence crossing Ridge Road and running east in the continuation of the south line of Poulonde to the west bounds of Interstate 87, thence south along the west bounds of Interstate 87 to a point, then west in a line parallel to the south line of Poulonde and crossing the Ridge Road at a point 500 feet south of the Castan Road to a point in which 1,000 feet west of the west bounds of the Ridge Road. Thence north in a line parallel to the west bounds of the Ridge Road, 2,600 feet, more or less. Thence northeasterly in a line parallel to the west bounds of the Ridge Road to the south bounds of the said Poulonde, thence east 1,000 feet to the point of beginning. You have a partial 2, beginning at the same starting point as partial 1 above, then east in a line parallel to the north bounds of the Poulet-Aden Road to the west bounds of Interstate 87, thence northerly along the west bounds of Interstate 87 to a point which the interstate crosses Ridge Road, thence west 1,000 feet, said 1,000 feet to be measured perpendicularly to the west bounds of the Ridge Road, thence southerly in a line parallel to the west bounds of the Ridge Road to the southwest corner of partial 1 above, thence east along the southerly bounds of Poulonde to the point of the beginning. Well, that's, if you look at the map, the way I understand this, you can either accept this or reject this. If you accept this, I understand that it's subject to public hearing. You also have the local law filing.
We'd have to do it just like any other local law.
Yeah.
Public hearing we had on the local law before is good, or we gonna do it again?
Did we actually have one, the way this was with the description on it? I think the same thing as we did it again, isn't it?
You haven't filed the local, you say you filed the local
No,
law?
we haven't, because we haven't voted
No.
yet.
Did we actually have a hearing on this?
No. No, you had the CEQA.
Oh, okay.
We just established and went through all that, that's done. Now the action is before the board to either vote to allow this zoning change, and if they do, they have to have a public hearing on it before it becomes effective.
Let's have a public hearing before you vote, Henry.
Yeah.
That's a public hearing, you vote.
If you have a resolution that states we don't allow it, you don't need.
That's right.
So the only resolution that you can have is a disallowing a resolution, disallowing the zoning change. Any other cannot be accepted. In other words, if the motion is to disallow the zoning change, you don't have to go through everything. So if you make a motion to not allow the zoning change, and it's passed by the board, you would hand this back to the zoning committee, zoning board, and either have them amend it to what you feel it should be, if you have any feeling on that. Either increase the district or decrease the district. You're the ones now that have the right to say, well, yes, we're going to grant it, or no, we're not going to grant it.
Well, I think if we start doing this all over, down there will be spot zone. And this, to me, is spot zone. If you do it in one area, you're gonna be doing it all over. First thing you know, we're out all over. When we set this up, we tried not to set up where it would be spotted like this.
Anybody else have any comments on it?
That's the only road you've got water on right now, eh? Townwide,
Not water, it's not a district,
you have water.
yeah.
It's the only road we have water on, other than Route 11.
That's limited.
Yeah.
I make a motion to leave it the way it is.
Second.
There's a motion to leave it the way it is, and a second to the motion. Is there any further discussion on that motion? No further discussion on the motion. We have a roll call vote. Mr. Tran?
Aye.
Mr. Cookman?
Aye.
Mr. DeMars?
Aye.
Mr. Wallet?
Aye.
Carried. Do you want to pass it back to see if it can be modified, or do you want to not even allow anything? Any change of the whole road?
I'd drop it.
I think that we just notify the zoning people that
This was denied.
and then stop there, and they can always request whatever they might want to request in the future, but
Okay, committee reports, building committee, Mr. Tran, Mr. Morris,
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Morris. Grants committee, Mr. Cookman, Mr. Wallet.
Nothing at this time.
Nothing.
Board of Assessment Review, Mr. Wallet.
No.
Highway committee, Mr. Tran, Mr. DeMars.
Nothing at this time.
Water and sewer committee, Mr. Cookman, Mr. DeMars.
Nothing.
Nothing at this time.
Landfill update, Mr. Tran.
And club day, the holes have been taken care of, where the dirt was washed away. And mowing is not as far as we can go for the moment. And we got in touch with Casella. They've sent us the contract, or fax on the contract, for the year of 99 monitoring, which will be $19,450.
Figure again?
19,000.
$19,450. It will not be over that. They will be monitoring this twice a year now, April and October. So no plowing done.
I would like to thank you for your efforts on that. That's a good savings to the taxpayers.
And as far as the mowing is
$10,000.
concerned, we will take care of that with Sam.
Good.
And we might still have a problem if they're like grass growing them up in the middle, they gotta come up with something, but it's not gonna grow.
Sandy.
We had the best year this year to have it grow because of the amount of rain we've had. as soon as you get a week or so of no rain, it dries right up. Should have been planted in some drain of some sort to start with. But they got all the answers.
Sure they'll come up with one. Anything else?
That's all I'm for.
Okay. Any other councilman have any other report they'd like to make at this time, or any other discussion? Now we'll move on to the town clerk's report.
The street lighting that we had requested that they do not, that they take down. They have, the Route 11 and Ridge Road is down or will be down. The Route 11 and Route 9 intersection, they will take down. The one up in Perry's Mills, over Trombley, they've taken down. They gave us a credit the 5th of October. They issued a credit the 5th of October for $119.40 for 2 months of service to these lights, or were not taken down, but we had asked them to take them down. They didn't get them down because they hadn't had time, but they gave us credit for the lights. So now they're all taken care of. The ones at the Grand Union Mall and the Senior Citizens Home have been turned over to the village. We're not involved with that anymore. The only ones left is the Bayshard Road. We received a letter from Rennie Barrier with 7 questions on the forming of the lighting district. I had sent him a copy of the form that Henry prepared to use to request a district, and he came back with 7 questions, and I gave this to Henry, and he's going to give us the answers tonight. All right?
Yes.
Boy, good job, Ralph.
First question is, how is the size of the district determined? Will this be one district or a district per light?
It depends on the petition that's requested. Depending on the size of the district that the people who are interested submit when they request it. Or the town board can determine the size if we use that approach. But anyway, it just depends on whatever's requested or whatever is felt to be the proper size.
Okay, the cost, is it based on the assessment or divided equally among the landowners?
Well, once again, that's a decision for the town board to make. As long as it's an equitable method of determining or allocating the expenses among the users, there's no set way to do it. So whatever seems to be the fairest way to divide the expense up and apportioning it to those people receiving the benefits is the way to do it.
Once they form a district and they're in it, can they get out of it?
You can change the size of a district, but you have to follow essentially the same procedure in reverse and request that the district be reduced in size, and the board has to take action on it. In that method.
Who decides how many lights, the cost, and where they're located?
I think that the town board has to work with the people who stand to benefit from the district and just find out what size will serve their purposes and what the expense will be and something like that. There's no table that shows how many lights are to be allocated to an area of a certain size or anything like that. So once again, as I said, it's something that the town board can work with the petitioners on.
What is the cost to set the district up? Are there any expenses?
I don't think there's going to be any expenses other than publishing a notice in the paper saying that we're going to have a hearing on the district. All the infrastructure is already out there on the ground, so it's just simple. It's a matter of shuffling the paperwork and completing this on paper.
What about empty lots in the district?
The boundaries of the district do not have to be contiguous, so we can have lighting districts set up on lots that do not necessarily touch one another.
Can somebody get in later?
Yes, but you have to go through
Same procedure.
essentially the same procedure to increase the size of the district. I think this is a relatively simple procedure because all we have to do is just simply rubber stamp something that's already in place. There's no money that needs to be expended other than the notice of a public hearing in the paper. There's no poles to buy, no wires to buy.
Are you going to put this all down, write him a letter, and tell him all this stuff?
Okay.
You do that?
Yep.
See what he says, comes back with?
Okay.
I wanted to ask him now so they were all know what was going on.
Okay.
questions asked.
Ask the clerk.
They might have something for you.
All right, so I'll do that.
The other thing I have is, last meeting we had last month, we talked about 2 unused computers, and you advertised informally over the air that we would take sealed bids on these 2 computers. I have 3 sealed bids to open. Holly Bunn, 1 Priscilla Lane, Rouse's Point, bid $10 for 1 computer and $15 for both.
Can I get in that? Jack?
We may have somebody go higher.
Might have $15 in there, you can't tell the 20. And this one here is Jane's computer, $10, and Pat's computer, $20. The bid was from Patricia Ayer.
Wait a minute.
$10 for Jane's and $20 for Pat. The one that you got sitting in Jane's office now is Pat's old computer.
That's right.
The one sitting in my office is Jane's old computer.
Okay, what was it again, 20?
15, 10 and 20. I don't know if I open this one or not.
Cut the budget this year.
You got it?
Yeah.
Huh? I'm not sure.
Maybe hire more money.
I know it is because it's mine. I did $51.50 on James.
51.50 and change.
James should have read that, right?
Why don't you take the other one too, Ralph? Bid another $50 on the second one. I guess not.
Okay, gentlemen, do you wish to act on any of this tonight?
Sure. So what are we gonna do, have one more to put up for bid?
No, we got both of them sold.
So,
One
some bid on
person
one,
bid-
some didn't.
One person bid 15. The $15 bid is higher.
Back to $20.
Read the first one to me again. That was 15 for
Both of
one.
them. No.
I didn't say which one.
I said 10 for one and 15 for both.
10 for one.
And 15 for both.
You got a tie bid there.
And on the other one, Pat bid $10 on James and $20 on her over Pat.
So that gets her.
This is getting kind of complicated. Get rid of
Got a tie bid.
$100,000 business. Less time than this.
Right.
Which one did you bid on,
How
Ralph?
do you figure that?
Because Bun bid $10 on one. So
And
he's
15
saying,
and 15 for both of them.
yeah.
Pat bid 20 for one.
No, she bid 20 on James,
Yeah, 10 on
and
the
10
other.
on the other one.
No, I bet 20 on mine.
Yeah, well, which is James. One in James' office.
Yeah, but on the one in my office, I'm high bidder on.
Oh, you bid that on that one in your office?
Yes.
Oh!
So that
Oh, I thought
makes
you went James.
No,
You said James.
no. That's James' old computer, yeah. Not the
Oh.
one in James'
Oh,
office.
James' office.
Yeah, it's in
I'll make
Ralph's
a motion,
office.
we accept the highest bid.
I'll second that.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to figure when you deal with this
I'm
much
gonna
money.
go that way, we
You know.
accept the high bid.
Charlie will figure that out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Let you mathematicians figure that out.
so, I have a motion to sell the computers. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Jules Trahan, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? None opposed, okay. Carried. Anything else, Ralph?
Oh, that's all right.
That's all. Superintendent of Highways, Mr. Sam Castine.
We should be done hauling our own sand this week. We still got 2 villages yet. We're gonna have to screen some more because we're gonna be running short. We had a truck down for, one of the tandems down on 7/8, that kind of put us back. After a few calls to KC Canary, we finally convinced them that we had a problem with the chipper. They took it in and they replaced put a new rollers in it free of charge on the warranty, and she's ready to roll again. Basically, we got another new chipper on. Ready to go.
Oh, good. The rollers are shot?
Yeah, they were bending, and they finally agreed that the material that they used was too light a material, and they had, Treaty had to work on.
Good.
It's all been, it's all been repaired and it's ready to roll again. Next ice storm.
I hear that.
That's about all I have.
Okay, Sam?
Have we got to rent the screen again then to get more sand?
Yeah.
Yes. Attorney Van Acker, any report?
No, nothing more than,
Okay. I'd like to have an executive session tonight on Article 7 case. Have a motion to the board.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I got one letter I didn't read. It's from the village of Champlain. This came in kind of late today. I'm sure that you're aware that there are some meter discrepancies on the October the 1st, 1998 billing for the Ridge Road, landfill, and the Perry Mills district. The master meter is 27% lower than the individual meters in the Ridge Road district. The landfill master meter shows 14% higher than the individual meters. The master meter is 14% lower in the Perry Mills district. It is our understanding that the town is addressing these discrepancies by 1, rereading the master meter, 2, cleaning the master meter, 3, checking meters and seeing if any hydrants are still open. Please let us know the results of your investigation. Also, it would be helpful for Joanne and Barb to check the meter totals when you do your October billing, our readings. You get a copy of that? You did?
I think I did.
That's why you get to take the bus.
Just in case I don't.
Have we been running pretty close on the meter?
Well, we did find some bad readers out there. Did that bring us back up on the Ridge Road, on the landfill, within the 5% on that landfill meter? Did anybody do any measurements on that?
I'm not sure.
No. Maybe we're within 5% to 6% on the landfill with the malfunctioning readers versus the meters. The outside readers, I think there was one guy, wasn't it, 6,000 gallons? He was off. His meter, his reader.
Yeah.
Outside reader. Sam's going to check on that, though, and he'll get back. You all have a copy of the Clinton County Legislators' STAR program result. Did you get one of those? You may not have, but I will make you a copy. No, you got a copy. Shows you Northeast Clinton. Number of STAR exemptions was 334. The enhanced STAR exempt assessed valuation of $13,054,250, with a STAR exempt assessed value of $50,000, with the tax rate for 1,000 of assessed value was 16.96. You might as well say 17. At a STAR reimbursement amount of $221,252.37 for Northeast Clinton. And of course, Northeast Clinton for Champlain, you got the results there. They're all highlighted. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one down on your list on the second page. So that's the amount of money that they've got coming, I would imagine. Okay, gentlemen, you have the bills. Any discussion?
I have some extra ones to read.
Yes, you do. Ralph will read those extra bills, saying it was too late to get in today. And that he got the mail late.
Barbara Jarvis, mileage 66 miles, $17.16. Ducharme, mileage 95 miles, $24.70. Power, battery, and truck parts, $268. Miriam Graves, miscellaneous parts, $65.45. Morton Salt Company, salt for the roads, $9,915.34. Sheriff Corporation, windshield washer and de-icer, $232.95.
No more bills? Any discussion on the post audit of the accounts payable? Have a motion to be paid.
Seconded.
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone from the public that wishes to readdress the board at this time? If not, I remind you, gentlemen, you have a budget workshop tonight. We have an executive session, so we'll have the executive session. We'll have a 5-minute break, and then we'll go work on the budget.
The contract payment, we gotta go out
John.
next month for that, right?